If you've ever missed a shot on a drill, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Guys, like and comment. The comment section is out of control. Give me a good story of missing a shot. If you guys are looking to support the channel, the biggest support of the channel right now is Big Daddy Unlimited. Big Daddy Unlimited is like the Costco of the gun world. Is it worth it? Well, are you worth it? Guys, if you are looking for other sponsors who are helping out the channel, we have the Dude Bag. It is a subscription service for those dudes where you don't exactly know what to buy them. Of course, we have USCCA, their concealed carry insurance and concealed carry information. Go check them out. And finally, a big shout out to a cool fire trainer. Really cool dry fire products that simulate recoil in your AR-15 or a multitude of other guns. A really cool product, actually. Give them a look. Ladies, gentlemen, am I often forgotten, but most certainly not by me, people who miss shots on drills. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're gonna be talking about a very cool topic, which is low round count drills. Make no mistake about it. It's very hard to get ammo right now. It fucking sucks. I want it to go away, and hopefully it eventually does correct itself. But for now, everybody's hurting on ammo, me included, literally everyone. So the question is, how do you stay proficient while you're only able to fire perhaps 30 rounds in a range session? And that's a really good question. And so in the following videos, we're gonna be introducing a lot of very interesting drills that can keep you pretty proficient as you go through this, and maybe not in the way that we used to be before, but certainly increasing very critical skills when it comes to shooting a rifle. So without further ado, I want to introduce a good friend of mine. We have Mike. Mike, come on over. It's Mike's first time onto the channel. Come here, buddy. Hey, good friend of mine. You actually have a really cool YouTube channel if you want to speak to it really quick, man.
Yeah, so Mike Lilly, I'm a precision rifle shooter by trade. My wife and I have a YouTube channel, Long Range with the Lilies. Fortunate enough to be asked out tonight, and hey, thanks for having me. Of
course,
beautiful dude. Pacific Northwest
I know,
day.
Beautiful weather. So Mike's been helping me a lot with long range shooting, and that's kind of how we came to this drill. Now, before we go any further, we do have another shooter who's going to be helping us out. We have New, as New runs in. New, thanks for coming out today,
thanks
dude.
For having me.
Hey, no problem. New's going to be one of the shooters who's going to be participating in the drill. Excellent shooter. You want to introduce yourself, New?
New, just shooter here to help out today, and happy to be here.
Good, we're glad to have you, New. So the point is, we have a lot of good shooters here, a lot of different rifle setups, different backgrounds, but the point is we're all gonna be shooting the same drill. And this drill was developed by a very cool dude who has a lot more knowledge than I'd say everybody here. And I wanted to let you, Mike, to go ahead and introduce it before you start shivering and going hypothermic.
Yeah.
So Mike, it's on you, dude, go ahead.
All right, so Chris Way is a precision rifle shooter out of Colorado. Super analytical, super scientific kind of guy. He's always trying to quantify data and find a way to quantify his performance, as well as the performance of his rifle, his gear, whatever. So he designed this target, and basically what you have is an expanding diamond. The original target drill was set up at 100 yards, and each diamond is equivalent to a 1 MOA target at 100 yards.
Got it.
So what his thought philosophy is you know, precision rifle rounds are, you know, hand loaded, they're more expensive. We don't typically go out and, you know, burn out a barrel with 300-400 rounds in a setting.
Sure.
So trying to maximize the efficiency of being able to shoot and quantify data. So what he did was he developed this target, and originally it started out as a method to shoot from different positions and see your capabilities from each position. For example, from standing, from high kneeling, from low kneeling, from prone. Yeah. And it basically gave you a reasonable expectation of the size target that you can hit from a given position. Okay. So for example, if prone, I can keep them all in this inner diamond. I am a 1 MOA shooter, and you know, when I say shooter, that encompasses your abilities, your ammo's abilities, your rifle's abilities, all those things.
There's a lot of abilities coming into play. How are you feeling about this, New?
We'll find out.
So, and then, you know, from say high kneeling, if I blow up to like a 3 or a 4, now I know I have something to work on. For sure. And you know, as he developed these drills, basically I've just started applying them to other disciplines, like for example, carbine. Yeah. And it's a good way to really get quality repetitions and quantifiable data and expectations of performance without burning just a crap ton of ammo, which none of us have right now.
For sure.
So So what we're gonna do today is we're all gonna shoot it. We'll shoot standing. Yeah, we'll shoot off the barricade standing, high kneeling, low kneeling, and then an alternate position. And we'll see kind of where we're at and what we can expect our performance to be on a freezing cold, rainy, drizzly Northwest day.
For sure. So there's definitely going to be a lot that's going to come into play here. So if you want to come in here, we'll talk to this a little bit. So each of these little squares is 1 inch. So of course, at 100, this would be a 1 MOA square that we'd have, but obviously we're going to be shooting this at 50, between 40 and 50 with carbines with low power variable optics. If you're shooting with a red dot, you're probably not going to be able to see this as well. So kind of see where you're at with either a magnifier and bring it in as necessary. But you need to be pretty gnat's ass. So make sure that your 0 is good to go before you shoot this, or otherwise you're just gonna absolutely fuck yourself on this drill. But for this drill, we're gonna be going from 1 inch to 2 inch to 3 inch, and that's gonna correlate to time. So Mike, I understand that we're setting a basic par time of 12 seconds to start with, and then kind of going up from there, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Perfect. So we'll be going from each position. You'll start from standing behind the barricade, and on buzzer, you'll move forward, mount onto the barricade, and then from that position you'll fire. You have 12 seconds from the beep to get to that position, settle into that position, acquire target, fire, and then you're good at that point, correct?
Right, and then you reset, start all over. So every shot you're breaking, you're getting a complete repetition, and you're getting more training value than if you were to just set up in a position and then just continue to break shots.
Yep.
So you back off, rebuild the position, break the shot, and you're getting, like again, a complete repetition.
And that's why I like it so much. So when we're doing this, what you're getting to see is each position, how am I doing? Because I know for me, my low kneeling, I tend to open up a little bit. So I know that for me, that is a position that I need to work on. And that's a very cool, very easily quantifiable portion of it. And of course, the time that goes along when you're using a shot timer and all that type of stuff. But if you guys want to come over to here, we are using this on a VTAC barricade. So what's cool is this drill can also be run in a variety of ways with a variety of different positions. If you run the standing to kneeling to low kneeling to prone and you're like, I'm getting good at this, change it up. Start using your slanted ports in your VTAC, and you can make this immensely more difficult as good as you are. For us, on today, we're gonna keep it pretty basic for you guys to start. But again, there's a lot of things you can do. You can add in running, you can add in kit, depending on what your job is, or as a concerned citizen, what you're gonna be using. There is a ton to do. So the point is, it's a very flexible drill that takes between 4 to 12 rounds to do, and you get good quantifiable data. In fact, me and my camera guy, Micah, did it a ton, and we were just getting our asses kicked. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna set up this target out at 50, and we're gonna run this drill. All right, let's get it. All right, so we're at the, we have the target out. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna run the drill. I'm gonna do one from each position. We'll go check out my target with this beautiful weather. Mike, go ahead and talk about it, man.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is I've set a 12-second par time. It's pretty generous par time. It's not, pushing you at all. We're just establishing a baseline.
Well, we'll see if it pushes me.
Yeah, so what we'll do is you'll hear a beep. I'll ask you for ready. You say yes. I'll initiate with the beep, and then you have 12 seconds to get that shot off, and then we'll reset and we'll start over from the different position.
Sounds good. Ready?
Yeah, you got any questions?
Nah, man. Ready.
All right. All right, shooter, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, on the beep.
Looks good.
All right. And so the next position, we'll do like a kind of a high kneeling in between kneeling and standing. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. All right, reset. That was your part time there.
Okay, where are my shots at right now?
It says it's not giving me your time.
Yep,
we'll
no
look
problem.
at it here in just a little bit.
Sure.
All right, shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
That's my hardest shot. I always pull that one. It's high for me.
Well, that's why we're out here, to get
Absolutely.
better. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. let's go down there and look at your target.
Can't wait. Woo! So that third position for me is hardest. I don't know what it is, but that kind of midway between high kneeling and prone, that kind of VTAC barricade position, dude, it just fucks me up. I just get wrecked on it. But it's good because I know what I'm bad at. So that's a good data point for me to know where me as far as being a shooter and having good shooting positions, where I'm like, okay, Mike, you're not that good at that position. It's a good data point. Yeah, there's that high kneeling right there.
All right, so actually you have a really solid group here. So you're about an inch, just over an inch for 3 of the positions, and you've identified what you need to work on.
Yeah, we want to call that 3 or 4. That's like a break right in that line, right? What do you call it?
A 3 if it's a line.
That's very generous of you, Mike. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I have yet to shoot it, so I'm going to be generous to you.
No problem. So this was my first shot right here. That was my standing. I was pretty happy with that one. Here was my first kneeling shot. Here's my third kneeling shot. I talked about that position just jacks me up.
Sure.
And then that was my prone shot, and prone shot's easy. The hardest thing is taking the time to get into that position and staying calm. The biggest thing for me, the first time I ran this drill, I was Lucas T-Rex arms, like getting into that position, but it didn't work because I was elevating my heart rate. So, there's something to be said about that, about working that type of stuff and staying calm as you're doing this, because to me, this is a good drill because, depending on the situations that you're in, I practice a lot of shooting stuff for self-defense, right? And I think about, the variety of things that could ever occur, and being able to take your time to line up good shots and make good, accurate hits is something that's, vitally important to, in my mind, rifle work. And it's something that's been lost, I think.
So I think, that's all great points. In my mind, all it's doing is it's giving you quantifiable data for your balance of speed and accuracy. You know that if you take your time, you can keep it in this 1 inch zone. But if you need to speed it up, if we were to run this drill with like a 6-second part time, I think you would see a much, much bigger spread.
For sure.
And you would be able to identify, all right, if I'm moving this fast, I can reasonably expect to shoot about this well.
Sure, we're going to Lucas T-Rex arm speed at that point.
So again, it's just a way to quantify your performance.
Awesome.
So.
Do you want to come in here and speak to it a little bit, man? You have a lot of experience as a shooter, a very practical shooter. So I wanted you to ask what you thought of this drill from me running it.
Well, certainly just on the outside looking in, I think it's a great drill. Everything that you're talking about definitely quantifies. The biggest one being the heart rate, shooter solution, shooter ability is going to weigh in heavily how much that part time set for.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, overall it's pretty good.
Are you excited to run this?
I am. I'm excited to run it, but not excited for the
I get it. Can we check the we'll check the par times on those. We'll put those up for you guys right here in the corner, as far as from beep to shot, and you can adjust from that, right?
Sure.
So another point of this, Mike, too, is these also equal to par times as well, if I'm not mistaken. So we have from like 10 seconds to 12 to 13 to 14, like in general, correct?
So the way that Chris Wade developed the original drill was you originally shoot it with no part time, and you kind of see your group size.
Yep.
And say you're a 4.
Yep.
And you keep everything in the 4. He gives himself a 10-second part time, and then whatever your group is, he adds that number to it.
Yep.
So your stress number would then be 14.
Got it.
That would be your stress number.
Okay.
And as you get better, your stress number comes down.
Good.
Again, it's just a super great way to quantify how fast you can push yourself.
I like that. I like this quite a bit. Well, man, we've run me. I think it's time to run you through the ringer now.
Sure.
Now, another thing that you brought up too is typically, so this was 4 rounds to get really good data, but generally this is run with 12 rounds. You run each of those positions 3 times for a total of 12 shots, and that, I think, like you're saying, it's more data.
Yeah, you're going to get a much more accurate data set. These might have been the 3 greatest shots of your life, and you actually shoot this.
This is like that was a fluke, man. I'm actually a terrible shot.
Or if we shot, the another 8 rounds, it could all be right here, and then that was just an outlier. So
for sure.
The more data you can get, the better your results, the more accurate results you're going to have.
Awesome. Well, let's post up another target, Mike. Let's have you run it.
Okay.
Then new, and then we'll have another shooter run it, and we'll have a good time.
All right, sounds good.
Let's do it. As we get progressively wetter, let's go ahead and let's run this with Mike now. We'll put him through it. It'll be a good time. All right, Mike, you ready to do this?
Yeah.
That's the wrong hood. Fuck.
Oh man, it's getting wet.
So the weather is way worse now, which is perfect because I don't like Mike.
That's fair.
All right, Mike, you understand the course of fire?
I do.
All right, shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Okay, you got your shot at 898.
Sure.
All right. Ready for the second position?
Second position? Yep.
Yep.
So right here?
Yeah, high kneeling.
Okay.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. All right, Mike, your shot was at 627. That was pretty quick.
Okay.
This is a good data point for you.
Sure.
All right.
And then the square over here?
Yep.
All right.
All right. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. All right, 754, very quick as well. So you're definitely crushing that 12 second time standard. So we'll probably lower you down when we actually run through this again, since you're so much better at
I'm
this
just
than I.
Ricky Bobby, man. I want to go fast.
All right, man. Prone, one thing to be aware of, you do have a rock right there, so when you do, I'd say offset slightly right through the port, just so you know. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Woohoo! 12.35. The 0.35 over, what's our buffer on that?
Yeah, so I saw the rock.
That's fine. So that comes down to, first time shooting through this barricade. We have a couple rangeisms here. So
Sure.
we have a nice little rock right there.
I'll take the 0.35 and not ricochet off the rock, so.
So good. You want to go check out your target?
Sure.
All right, let's go check it out. Here's your phone back, by the way.
Thanks.
So we'll see how Mike did. Probably better than me.
I doubt it.
Nice. All right, speak to it.
All right, so decent group. I mean, probably about an inch or just over an inch wide, but I'm off my point of aim by about half an inch low. So obviously I need to adjust for that. That could be a couple things. It could be me.
Yep.
It could be rifle zero, whatever. But an acceptable group. I'm decently happy with it considering I'm shivering.
No, that's awesome. That's a really good group. So Mike's a long range shooter by trade. This is his thing. So as you can see, he's very precise and very consistent with his shots, and that comes from a lot of practice. So that's a great group right there, Mike. Just a good data set, and you can see from your time as well, he was just faster than me on all that stuff. So good job on that, dude. And it brings up a couple other issues too, right? So I think this is your first time shooting this particular barricade right here, correct?
Yeah.
So our prone port is low.
Yeah.
Is low. So you either have to back off of it, because I saw you got close to it and you're like, oh God, so you had to burn through with magnification, and it works. And you also talked about barrels, right? So talking about rifle setups is, I think, an important point when it comes to this drill, because how many people get a rifle setup and they're like, my rifle setup is the best rifle setup you've ever seen, man. And you're like, all right, cool. They're like, yeah, I can hit steel at 100, because we were talking about that. You were smacking steel on this range at 100, no problem. But when we checked your actual paper zero,
Yeah, so we came out, this optic had been removed for the rifle, so we just slapped it on and got a quick hasty zero, shooting at some steel. And then when we come out to shoot this drill, I wanted to make sure I had a precise zero, so I zeroed it on paper. And I was actually a full mil low and a full mil left, hitting a BC zone at 100 yards, with no problem. So again, this is going to hold you accountable. That's the great thing about paper, is it doesn't lie. It's not going to make you feel good. You're going to come out and you're going to see exactly what you shot.
I feel very sad every time I shoot this drill. Another thing too is I've run this drill before, obviously, and I've run it with a pencil barrel. And as you know, pencil barrels are great because they're lightweight. You can maneuver with it super easy. You can carry it super easy. But when it comes to shooting this drill, about the third iteration of running through it, when I hit that 8 to 12 round mark, and you can run through this drill pretty quick. As that pencil barrel started heating up, I started getting that wandering zero. And any type of wandering zero you get from a pencil barrel on this, it's done.
So it's another great thing. Not only will it quantify your performance, it'll quantify your rifle's performance
Yeah.
too. So if you come out here and initially you're just eating the heart out of the center, and then you go through a 50 round string and suddenly you're barely struggling to keep it in the target, you have some equipment deficiencies and some limitations with your system.
For sure. I mean, it's something to look at, right? Because there's a plus and a minus to everything, right?
Yep.
I could have a rifle set up for precision, and that's like a 20-pound build, and that thing's gonna eat out the heart of this thing all day. I could run as much as I wanted through it, but at the same time, carrying that thing in the mountains is gonna suck.
Absolutely.
So everything is that trade-off. If you want that lightweight barrel, that's cool. Just understand the deficiencies that you're gonna run into. So know that going into it. So hey, if I'm taking long-range shots and I get towards XYZ number of rounds, my group is going to start opening up, and that's something to think about with your equipment. Same thing with optics, right? We talk about reticle choice. That's huge. We were talking about that before with these night forces, with the change in reticles, how that changes how you're able to see this target. Because even at 6, 8x, that's a tiny little center.
Gets hard to see in a
My
hurry.
reticle is a little busy at 8x on the ATACR. It works, but it's something to think about. So there's just a lot of factors that come into play, and this is a really good gut check for your equipment, yourself, everything, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
New, are you ready, dude?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Let's go and staple up another.
The good news is the rain stopped, so we got you set up. Do you understand the positions and what we're gonna do? Yep. All right, on the beep. Are you ready? Well within the part time. You ready for position 2?
Ready?
All right, on the beat. All right, position 3. Ready? Position 4. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. All well within the part time.
Good. Let's go check it out.
All right, New. So looking at yours, you're all within the 2 here. Not a bad group at all. You've got some kind of some horizontal stringing, but you're on plane. Definitely with your target set there. So, I mean, it's a solid group there.
It's good work, man. Pretty much all I'm gathering from this is I'm the worst shooter here. I'm okay with that, though.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but...
No problem. Well, we have one more shooter, so we'll go ahead and we'll hit him on there, and we'll finish this out.
All right.
So, for the first time on the channel, we have Aiden running in at a whopping 16 years old at approximately 25 pounds. Really excited to have you on here, Aiden. Thanks for coming on the channel, man.
It's my pleasure.
So Aiden's gonna run the drill. Aiden's a good shooter. We've been working with him a lot. He's definitely come a long way, and we're looking to get him even better. So we're gonna have him run through this drill as well, just see how he does, and it'll be a good time. The point is like, not saying you're gonna do bad, but this is a tough drill. No matter how you do, the point is that you get out and you do the drill, right? Because if you don't do the drill, there's no learning. There's no data points accrued. So that's why we have Aiden out here learning this drill. Aiden, do you understand the course of fire, man?
Yep.
All right, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, dude. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Good. All right, 12.57. Are you ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right. You understand the course of fire?
Yep.
Stand by. Good. That shot was at 11.32. Right, next we got that weird port right there. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep. Yep.
Stand by. Good shot. All right, we got you at 12.76 at that one. Yep. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by. Nice. Good. 15.57. Good. So, as you can see with Aiden, he was taking his time, making sure he got a good shot. It's not so much about making the par time, but what we're looking for here is we're getting a good data set the first time that you run it. So what Aiden did is he got into a good position, he got a shot, and he got it off when he felt comfortable. And that's what's more important with this, to get your data point, and then you work down from there. So Aiden, let's go check out your group, dude. Good, dude. You did about as good as I did right there. That's awesome. That's a really good group.
Then we went worse and worse.
Yeah, so let's talk about this a little bit. So what shot was this one right here?
I think that was the one before the third one. Yeah, it was the third shot.
Dude, third position every time for me too. Yeah, so you have a good data point, right? We know that third position, just like me, that weird kind of unsupported kneeling position, it's just rough. So we saw that your shot was low on that and slightly left. I think your zero is about on. So that's a good data point. These shots right here are awesome, dude. So you got most of them, you got one of them within the 1 inch box, and the other two are pretty consistent at the 2. Which shot was this?
I think that was the first one.
The first shot? That's awesome. And then these two were the second position and fourth position?
Yeah.
Awesome. I think this is a really good group right here. And so we could see where your time's at right now, right?
Right.
So about the highest we got was around 15. So what we'd want to do is set your time at about that 15, and then from there, get comfortable. This group's really good. Get that group in, lower time, right, by a second. Keep dropping that time down and working this to get ourselves down to a lower level. But this is an awesome starting point. This is really good work right here, and this is why we come out and run this drill to get those good data points. So good job, Aiden. See? Great shooter. All right, we're good. So we finished up the drill. We ran it in one iteration, but if you're gonna run it, like we said, run it 3 times in a row. That way you get those good data sets. But for time's sake, run it at once. Mike, what do you kind of want to talk about this?
So a couple things. I think that so this is Aiden's target here. It's a 4-shot group. If we'd have ran the 12 rounds, I think you're going to see some kind of creeping out in some bigger groups.
Yeah.
I think that it's a much harder drill than we kind of represented.
Dude, it's a hard drill.
It is a hard drill, and it's very humbling, and that's the great thing about paper is it doesn't lie to you. I mean, it tells you exactly what you did. I think that Chris Way did a fantastic job developing this target.
I love this.
Guys, if you want to download this target, it's a PDF format. Go to riflecraft.com. He also has a YouTube channel, The Craft, Kraft, and you can get his targets and see his philosophies and his methodologies for training.
Great dude.
And I
awesome,
love that you can apply it to across the spectrum. It's not just a precision rifle thing. It's not just a carbine thing.
Yeah.
It's very, very scalable. So again, not my idea. I'm just, introducing it to people.
I think it's cool. I think the concept of becoming a better rifleman is something that's been lost on a lot of people with the way training has been going. So this is a cool drill. Again, these guys are very humble, all these people here, but these are all some very high caliber shooters here. You may not know it, but so this drill is tough. This is a very difficult drill. But get out there, please run it, and get humbled a little bit. It's gonna make you a better shooter. And again, if you shoot this drill and you shoot at that one MOA, put on some kit, start lowering that time, start pushing that target out, and you're gonna get yourself messed up pretty freaking quick. Do you have anything to say on it before we end?
No, thanks for having me today.
Of course,
thanks
dude.
for the drill. Super quantifiable, gives you good feedback and data that you can continue to get better and push yourself. So
yeah, dude. Awesome. Aiden, what do you want to say?
Oh, nothing. Just happy to be out here.
Good times. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks.
Appreciate you guys very much. The biggest thing, like we're talking about, guys, is training, right? Get training out there. Tons of great guys to get training from, whether that be the people I always mention, Haley Strategic, Cogworks, Bear Solutions, any long-range shooting companies you want to kind of throw out there for training?
I mean, there's a plethora out there. Rifles Only is always my go-to for precision rifles instruction. SS Tac, Scott Satterley runs a great school as well. So.
Awesome. Lots of great guys out there. The point is, get out there, train, become better. You are the weapon, not so much your weapon. So make sure that you sharpen that weapon right there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. we've got nothing else for you. We do have one final thing for you, actually. And every time I do it, Mike probably was prepared for it a little bit, but I allow my guest stars to, you're a star, by the way, to impart a little bit of knowledge unto my audience. So I give them a little bit of dad advice. You happen to be a dad, so give them a little bit of dad advice right here. It could be anything.
I think the important thing is just to get out there and train. Be honest with your capabilities. That's one of the reasons I love drills like this, is it's super quantifiable. Be honest with your abilities, train to get better, and work at it, and then spread it to the next generation.
For sure. Love it. Thank you so much for coming out, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys very much again. Thank you so much. Hey, have a good time, guys. All right, guys, you know, if you've gotten this far, matter of final things, get out of my shot. All right, guys, you know, if you've gotten this far, final thing, Survival Dispatch. Survival Dispatch is a survival site, tons of good SEER information. Is SEER information important, Mike?
Absolutely.
It sure is. So get in there, learn that survival information. It will possibly save your life in certain situations. And a final shout out to Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You guys rock. Love you guys. We got nothing else for you except for more shooting videos very soon. So check it out.